Hi guys, welcome to Archerfield Golf Links here in Scotland. We're at the Titleist 718 Ions launch and a brand new iron here for you. It's the Titleist 718 Tmb. Now I know you'll have all seen Jordan Spieth hitting that infamous shot, if you like, from the driving range on his way to winning the Open at Royal Birkdale. He was using a 718 Tmb model. That was a 3 iron. We've all seen that, but what you probably haven't seen is that this new Tmb set, actually, it's a full set. It goes all the way from pitching wedge to 2 iron. So it's yeah, something completely different really from Titleist. We've had these we've had these models for a couple of years, these Tmb models, but they've just been really like your sort of like 4, 3 and 2 irons, just for for the top end of the bag, for maybe people who prefer irons over hybrids. But now, yeah, like I say, they're going all the way into the pitching wedge. So it's an interesting one. It's a different one. The Titleist said that a lot of people just really liked the Tmb clubs, and that's why they thought there was a demand for to do it in a full set. So just to get a little bit more detail about why Titleist have introduced this club and what technology has gone into it, we caught up with Titleist President of Golf Club Steve Pelisek here at the launch. He is the best person to tell you all about it. Okay guys, Tmb, you'll all remember that infamous shot from Jordan Spieth on his way to winning the Open at Royal Birkdale. That was a 3 iron, and we've had Tmbs before. We've had them as utility irons, hybrid replacement. Now we've got a whole set. Why?
Well, I think the story is interesting. You may, some of the viewers may remember a club we called 712U a few years back. The U stood for utility. It's a utility iron. The iron team designed it as sort of a utility iron for players who would rather play an iron-like club as opposed to a hybrid or a high-lofted fairway wood. It's hollow. It's got a very thin, really hot face. It looks like a blade. It's not built like a blade, but it looks like a blade. Inside there's a lot of technology, and there's a big hollow cavity in there. It's very popular. Yeah. Surprisingly popular among a lot of tour players and a lot of amateur players. And essentially they just came to us and said, I love a golf club that looks like a muscle back, but that's really long. Yeah. And they said, will you make a whole set? Because originally we only made 2, 3, 4, and 5 irons. Yeah. And essentially they said, make the whole set, please. So we did. Mm. It's a full set of irons built on the utility iron platform that features that hollow cavity with a thin, very hot face, but looks like a muscle back.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting one. I have to say I was quite surprised when I saw it that it does go into the full set. But yeah, you hit them, and you can kind of understand why. You just get that instant. Well, that feels like it's been really well hit. It's got a distinctive sound, hasn't it? You can almost feel that hollow nature of it.
It's not going to feel like a forged blade. Again, it looks like a muscle back, but it's not. It's not forged. It's cast. But more important than that, really, the entire face is unsupported. It's almost like a face on a driver. It's very hot, but it's not going to feel like a forging. It's just going to look like a forging. It's going to go a lot farther, though, than a club like an MB or CB. It's long.
My impressions of this when I put this down at the ball, I thought in terms of its proportions, it was very similar in size to the AP3. So if you're wondering about the look, but I'm guessing the main difference is that offset. There's more offset on the AP3, is that right?
Yeah. AP3 is actually even a little bit stronger lofted than Tmb. Tmb is stronger lofted than like an AP2. But yeah, it's a cleaner look. AP3 has a little more offset in it. It's going to hit the ball a little bit higher, even though it's stronger lofted. Tmb is really meant to be a very classic looking golf club, just with a ton of technology packed into it.
Yeah, no, it looks like a serious golf club. It looks like a distance club, doesn't it?
There's a ton of technology. There's almost 100 grams of tungsten in this iron, for example. An iron head like that may only weigh 250, 260 grams, and 100 of it in this case is 2 little chunks of tungsten that we shove way down in the heel and the toe, which really drives up the inertia properties, makes it much more forgiving, gives it a really low CG, so it's going to go way up in the air. It's an engineering marvel from the standpoint that its purpose is to look like an MB, but go like an AP1.
Okay, so 718 Tmb Ions, another new addition to the Titleist family for 2017-18. So it's an interesting one. Obviously they had a lot of success with the Tmbs and the longer irons. We've had that in the previous range, in the 716 range, but then, you know, 718 range, and you've seen Jordan Spieth hitting that famous shot at Royal Birkdale. And Titleist told me that there just has been a lot of demand for Tmbs in a full set. So yeah, it's a slightly confusing one for me, because I think it sits in a very similar place to where the AP3s sit, just sitting between that AP2 and AP1. And what you're going to get from the TMB is it's going to be a little bit sleeker than your AP1s, but it's going to be a bit more forgiving than your AP2s. So, you know, again, it is a club that people might move into just in the into the longer irons. But yeah, like I say, from hitting them down behind the ball, really couldn't see any difference between the profile of this and the AP3. So yeah, like I say, same sort of people they're going to speak to. And then there's just a bit of a different sound and feel to this club, really, because of its design. It has got that sort of, you know, that hollow feel. Doesn't sort of sound and feel quite as sweet, but you're going to get really good ball speeds, you know, from this club. So if you want, you know, if you're after a little bit more distance, and again, like I say, a little bit more forgiveness in the longer irons, that's where I think the TMBs are going to come in. You know, post us a comment below. Let us know what you think about the TMBs. I'm sort of 50-50 on them, because it's you know, there's a lot of irons in this range from Titleist. I think it does make sense with the AP1, AP2, AP3, but TMBs as a full set, I'm not so sure. But, you know, let me know what you think. Post us a comment below if you think, you know, if you're all into this, if you think, you know, you're someone that might be interested in buying a full set of the TMBs. Post a comment below, let us know why. And if you've got any more questions about the tech, about the lofts or the specs, the shafts, anything at all, please post them below and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.